Okay, so this one here is real popular, and we're going to create it. It's covered in a couple of different layers, and it requires 2 coats of epoxy. So if you see these dominant colors on top, they're the same colors that you're seeing underneath, but it's real subtle, and that's colored directly on the white concrete, which is what we're going to do now, and then it's just a couple of minutes of drying time, and then we're going to actually put epoxy on it and color into the first coat of epoxy, get all that done, and then we'll let that dry, and then we will proceed with the second coat. This particular one, we use different types of colors than we did on the last one. We used acrylic on the last one, remember? That was watered down. Then this one here, we're going to use the acrylic, we're going to use a super stain, which is like a dispersion color, except the grind is much smaller. So this is actually considered a nano pigment. So if you had the micron size of this as a BB, this one's going to be much bigger. It's more like a basketball. So this maintains a lot of clarity, and this, if we add enough of it, like the last one that we did, we painted it black, it can cover things more like a paint. But it needs to be in some kind of a carrier to do that. So this particular one, we're going to put in water. We're going to put in, we're only going to use these 2 first. Those are for later. Shake them up real good. And I kind of have it so that it's not a total stream, but so that it's going to create some kind of lines like this in here. And then this is caramel. So that's more of a brown, and this is more of a browny yellow. Let me see. This does a nice job on the underneath sides of this. Make sure we go down over the edge. Edge. Okay, so remember this one, we put the background of the dispersion color on there, and we're going to put a thin layer of epoxy on, pretty much about as thin as you can get it, and we're going to color into that. Okay? So I'm just going to brush out a real thin coat, and it's not anywhere near the amount that I normally would use, but we just want to get it covered.
And this is just so when you put the other colors on top, it gives it that...
Yeah, we're coloring into the epoxy, which creates a totally different look than pretty much anything else that we've done so far.
Does it help keep the colors separate?
No, it kind of blends them together a little bit. A lot of times we'll put colored epoxies and mix them together, but this one we're going to color, and then we're going to do some different things with the acrylics that we haven't done before. Okay, so then you want to make sure you get the edge covered. Remember, this is the color that we used underneath the Kodiak there?
Yeah.
We're going to use that, and we're just going to put, I'll just pour it right here. Just going to take a little bit of that, and then I'm just going to wet the brush with it, and I'm going to create the deep veins like that. Okay. So that it just kind of looks like that, all right?
Do you worry about the edges so much, or do you just...
Yeah, we're going to get to that in a little bit. You're going to see that start to run down. So as it's running off of the edge, we'll come back and touch it up when we need to. I just want to get all the other colors on there. So we do that. Okay, so now this is the acrylic color. This one's bone. Remember, we used white before. This, when I do this particular look, it's watered down, 3 parts water to 1 part of color. We're going to apply this, and this has got water in it. Obviously, we just added it. And we're going to take that torch and take that water back out of it. So this is the Kodiak, and then this we sprayed on, remember? Yeah. We're just going to spray a little bit of that here and there. And then when we put that on, it's going to pick up some of this color and marbleize it into that color. So it's just a little bit of color on there. And you can use as much of this as you want or as little. That's totally up to you, and you can do it 3 or 4 times if you want to. So we're just going to kind of come in and create some of the... You see it starting to pick up the colors that are already wet underneath, right? So it looks real nice, and then we'll just do a heavy white spot in the areas where we don't have a lot of color, all right? See how it's starting to run down over the edge and looking real natural? All right, so we take that, and we take this torch, and remember that's an acrylic. So we're gonna take the water out of it and leave just the acrylic in there to create that sort of a see how these are all running together with the water. Glitter right here, just for fun. A little bit of gold glitter in there.
And you're just doing it along the lighter parts?
Yeah, just kind of wherever. It doesn't make too much of a difference. It's just kind of fun because when it glints in the light and it'll catch your eye. You like it?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so we're going to let that completely dry, and then it gets a second coat of epoxy over the top. And then you can look and see, do I have any parts? Looks good there, maybe just a little bit more right there. I think it's looking pretty good.